Well, thank you so much, Jane, for holding down the fort. Want to say welcome to our Shield Nation family. Thank you for being on tonight. You all are in for a big treat tonight because tonight you are going to hear from a gentleman. He and I are on the Regional Sales and Training Council together. He's actually in charge of all of the field trainers as part of the management team of that council. I've known this gentleman almost since he got into the business. I've watched him grow up. I'm so proud of all that he has accomplished. As a matter of fact, he has a heart of gold, and he says, listen, I can do this, even though he's packing to head off to Jamaica. But he said, for you, I got this. So tonight, you guys are going to hear some important information about IDShield. When I heard this information, y'all, let me tell you, it was a game changer for me because there were things that I wasn't paying attention to.
Teresa, I have no control over anything.
Oh, no, I didn't mean for that to happen. Here you go. You're back. Yeah. So when I started looking closely at the IDShield, the new experience, I'm like, oh my goodness, there are a lot of people that are not aware of this information. And so I invited my good friend, Johnny Jones. He's reached one of the top positions in our company. I'm so excited for all the success that he's had. Look, I could just go on and on and on, but y'all didn't come to hear me talk. So over to you, Mr. Jones.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I am going to show a video. This video is directly from a movie. There are some grown-up words in it, but I was told by many times as I've done this to keep the words in there because it's fitting for what I'm going to show you. But I'm going to show you something that blew my mind. Let's see if I can, there we go. It blew my mind when I first saw it. Because I think that when we do identity theft, I think when we're focused on identity theft, we're not really focused on what we need to be focused on. I think we know we do something with identity theft. We know it kind of it works. But I want you to look at this. So I'm gonna give you an assignment right now. For now that I got everything open, I want you to look at this. Let's see if I'm sharing my sound, because if I don't share my sound, this doesn't work. Right? Share sound. There we go. And let me make sure. There we go. All right, so everything's set up on my end. I need you to watch this video clip like it's your mother, your grandmother, your daughter, or your spouse. I need you to look at this as if it's somebody important to you. I want you to watch and pay attention to this because I'm going to ask you how you're receiving this information. And if you watch this and you look at this like this is somebody I love, this is somebody I care about, I want you to see how you look at it. So I'm gonna let the movie play, but I really want you to watch this as if it's somebody important to you.
Got something? I got one. I want it. I need it. Hey, put it in my ear. Get this fucking hippie shit down, please. United Data Group, good afternoon. This is Boyd. How may I help you?
Boyd. Hello. I just got a message saying that there's a problem with my computer.
Don't you worry. The message you received is from our United Data Group antivirus software. It's part of the software package that you pre-installed on your computer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a computer person. What did you say the name of your product is again?
It's very low.
Now, our records show that you
I
actually
hear
have
it.
on your account. So what I'm going to need you to do is uninstall that and install the latest version.
Oh, I have no idea how to do that. My daughter set up everything for
Can
me.
you hear it, Teresa?
I can hear it.
It's
They're
kind
gonna
of
need
soft.
You're going to need to turn your volume up on your computer because this is how it sounds on the from the video. So turn your volume up. It gets louder, but the first few minutes is kind of low. Okay, Johnny.
They'll have to replace the hard drive.
I'm pretty remote out here. Everything I have is on the computer.
Okay. There is actually a software package that you can download that would allow me to reinstall remotely.
All right. Tell me what to do.
It's okay. Can you type this? Friendlyfriend.net. Spelled just how it sounds.
Okay, I'm there.
And there should be a button on your screen that says install. And you click on that button.
I clicked the button.
So you're about to see some windows open and close on your desktop as I reinstall the IDShield for you. Okay, I hope you fucking clowns are paying attention. You stick to the script, but not so much that you sound like a goddamn robot, all right? She has got 10K checking, life insurance annuity, Roth IRA, teacher's pension, and holy fucking shit. All right, she is a signatory on a $2 million account. Some fucking charity. All right, kids, let the strip mining begin.
Ooh, my computer's going crazy.
Totally normal, just do not touch your keyboard. Because of this inconvenience, I'm gonna credit back your subscription fees. How about that? I've gone ahead and deposited $500 into the account ending 020.
Oh, that's not my account. That's an account that I manage.
Can you log into that account and verify the transfer, please, Ms. Parker?
Just hold on. Yes, there's a transfer for $50,000.
Set the hook with sympathy. Ms. Parker, I made a terrible mistake. I was supposed to credit you $500, but I know I got a stuck key here. I'm gonna lose my job here. I got kids. I got fucking kids.
Oh, I don't want you to get in trouble, but I could wire the amount back. I will need a different password, though. 1 second.
Now, this is the master password for all her accounts. Okay, so the second we get it, we zero out everything.
You know, I think I should call the bank. Hmm?
You know what? You're probably right. But there goes my job. And there goes all your data.
My kids' pictures are on this computer. Okay.
Boom! Fucking yes! That is what I am talking about! Come on! Let me fucking hear you! I fucking love you people! I fucking love you!
Hello? Hello? You still there? Uh-uh. Oh. Oh. What did I do?
I want you to put in the chat how you felt watching that clip through the eyes of thinking it was somebody you loved and cared about. I mean, I've been doing this and I've gotten a whole lot of responses, but how did you feel? Like for me, it bothered me so bad because I could see my mother, I could see my daughter, I could see the people I love and care about. And I was like, man, like when I first watched this movie, I actually rewound it about 5 times to go back through that movie again. That's how much it really bothered me. And yeah, horrible and angry and overwhelmed. But I want you to understand that's what it looks like for identity theft. So we talk about it, but we're not connected to it emotionally because we just say identity theft. That's what it looked like. And before you say, well, that's just a movie, I've done research and that's what it looks like. The only difference that I found is they're not in a nice office. I went back to a show called Outlaw Tech, and it actually showed this happening. It was less people, but the same thing happening. It was about 5 or 6 people doing exactly what you just saw. That's why you got to understand IDShield. That's why you got to understand what we do. Our mission is bigger than we give it credit for.
Welcome to the updated IDShield Experience walkthrough. As you can see, the app has been beautifully redesigned. Now with one simple login, it's more convenient and easier to use. Another big plus, all the features are now accessible from the online member portal and the mobile app. But the improvements don't stop there. The identity fraud protection coverage has increased to up to $3 million, and our One Bureau plan will now feature credit monitoring from Experian. Of course, our in-house licensed private investigators, coupled with our unlimited service guarantee and our 24/7 emergency assistance benefits, help set IDShield apart from all the rest. The home screen is your credit score tracker. Now you can easily navigate to identity protection, your IDShield inbox, and core features like anti-malware protection, VPN bank-grade data encryption, dark web monitoring, password manager, sex offenders in your area monitoring, and more. As well as tips and guidance on things like what to do when you lose your wallet, data breaches, and medical theft. You can change your settings at any time. And remember, after downloading the new mobile app, make sure you set up all your monitoring services so IDShield will always be working for you.
So what I want to do now is I want to go through every part of the movie to show you how our services help with everything she experienced in the movie. I think it's important to see it in real time. So the first thing is consultation and education. At the very beginning of it, if somebody had to just sat down and talked to her about what to do, she would have been good. This is why you got to understand our dual plan, the Legal Shield and IDShield together, why it's so powerful. And so everything in red is all of the things that the credit counseling does related to identity theft. And it does more than that. This is just some of the things. Help you with identity theft, risk management, reducing exposure to identity theft, reviewing suspicious activity, causes of credit score changes, because a lot of time when your credit score changes dramatically, it's identity theft. Spending habits. Sometimes we're spending money, and because we're spending money, we don't even notice when money comes out. And so if you don't have the right habits in place to catch it, money will come out faster than you realize it's coming out. It'll be a couple of weeks or a couple of months before you realize how much money they took from you. So that's why it's important to understand why you got to sell them Legal Shield and IDShield together. Let's talk about data brokers, because data brokers are real. And so what is a data broker? A data broker is also known as an information product company. It is an organization that makes money by collecting your personal information, analyzing it, and licensing it out to be used by other companies or people. Things like marketing purposes, but it doesn't always go to the right people. But anybody that wants to pay them for it can get your information. The type of data that they give out is your name, your home address, your date of birth, your phone numbers, your interests, your hobbies, your demographics, even the products you use. They collect all that information and they make it available. So where did they get your information? Sources available to the public, your search history. So they find ways to get access to your computer, to the things you do, the things that you do online, all your browser information. They find ways to get that information. So when you go to a website, when you click on something, they look at what you're doing. Anytime you sign an agreement online, a lot of times you're given permission for people to take your information. Here's the thing. They say, we'll never sell you information, but they never promise they won't give your information away. You notice that, right? They always say we won't sell you information, but they don't ever promise they won't give your information away. They can give it away to somebody else who can sell it. So they're not breaking their agreement with you. Also, your purchase history. In fact, we give our information away so freely, it's amazing we don't have worse identity theft. Let me show you how we do that.
Every day, you take advantage of all kinds of services: mobile, social media, free internet search, and more. When you use these services, you're sharing information about yourself with friends, with businesses, while you're out and about, while you're at home. That information is shared and sold within businesses, with their affiliates, with ad networks. So on a typical day, you might shop at a store and use a loyalty card to take advantage of a sale. And your shopping habits may be shared or sold. You might need to fill a prescription, and your prescription history may be shared or sold. You might use a daily coupon app to get a deal at a nearby restaurant, and your location information may be shared or sold. You might visit a news site where you notice an ad for your favorite brand of shoes. It's an online sale, this weekend only, so you buy a pair. And the articles you read and your shoe preferences may be shared or sold. You might log into a social network and see that your friends are filling out an All About Me quiz. You get the quiz app and share your answers, and your quiz responses and profile information may be shared or sold. A regular day. You've taken care of business, used some free services, gotten some good deals, and revealed all kinds of information about yourself. So at the end of the day, the question is, who has your information, and where is it going next?
I've been playing that video for 8 years, and I've never met anybody that didn't do at least 2 of those things on there at any given time. Never. We all do that stuff, and all that stuff is how our information gets out there. So data brokers don't have to go through tremendous things to get our information because we give it away. And that's why it's important to remove your information from data brokers. That's why we have what's called privacy check. So if you're not familiar with what privacy check does, it is in your portal, it is in your app, and what it does is it goes through looking for information in data brokers and it helps to remove it. It helps remove things like your name, your home address, your date of birth, your phone number, and all those kind of things. So thieves have a harder time getting it. And in fact, I was working with James Worthy, and I used to do stuff in PowerPoint, and I would go searching through Bing, and I would find things about him. I can't find him anymore since he's been using privacy check. It's made it harder. So I know that this really works, but you got to keep doing it because data brokers will mine for your information every day. So you got to have something every day that's working to remove your information. Now, another form that kind of fits into this, so one of the things that they do now is they call you from a number and they're recording your voice. So when you say, hello, who is this? And what do you want? And all like that, they're recording it. And they can duplicate your voice up to 98% accuracy rating. So they can sound just like you. And so one of the things that I know that they do is they will call you in the voice of somebody you know, love, or trust, and they will start crying and say, I've been in an accident, I need some money, I'm stuck, and whatever, and it will sound like a person. In fact, one of the times I was doing this presentation training, and somebody got on it late, and he said the reason why he was late because he got a call from his sister, the pretend sister that was trying to get him to send money, but he was asking questions, and she couldn't answer the questions. So the one thing we want to do is we want to have a code word with our family so that if anybody in your family calls you asking for money, you can ask them, what's the code word? When they don't know it, you know it's not them. This is such an important thing to our loved ones to make sure we're all on the same page. So you should have a family code word that allows you to work with people. Why is that important? Because thieves are going to sound just like you. Teresa Johnson could get a call from me tomorrow sounding like me saying, hey, I'm stuck, I'm at the airport, and oh my God, can you give me a $500? Can you give me $1,000? And it sounds just like me. And if I haven't worked out with her a code word for me, she might think it's me and she might contribute the money. And this especially works on younger people and older people. So that's why having a code word is such an important thing. Now, we saw this that popped up in the beginning of the clip, and it was how it's infected. And this is what thieves do all the time, right? They put things in place to make it look like you're infected, so you have to click on something. And that's why we have Trend Micro. We partnered with Trend Micro to give us that protection on our devices, our desktop, our laptop, our smartphones.
Trend Micro Security. Smart protection for all the ways you connect. Get comprehensive security for your PC, Mac, and mobile devices. Set up and configure useful features with ease. Bank online more safely with your preferred web browser with the improved Trend Micro PayGuard. Defend against ransomware and other online dangers with Trend Micro Folder Shield. Guard against scams and phishing emails with the improved Trend Micro Fraud Buster for Gmail and Outlook webmail. Limit access to personal data on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn with Privacy Scanner. Allow children to explore the web safely, but with time limits and content filters using parental controls. Use mute mode to temporarily stop non-critical notifications from interrupting you while you're busy gaming or doing important work. Fix common computer problems, including incompatible programs, and get everything running at top speed with PC Health Checkup. Create and manage complex passwords, and securely sign into your favorite websites with Password Manager. Comes packed with additional key features you've come to expect. Trend Micro Security. Smart protection for all the ways you connect.
So you already have access to all this. This is all part of what you do. And hopefully I'm showing you that even though we spend about 2-3 minutes in a presentation on this thing, we can go on for weeks to show you everything that you have access to. Now, she looked at the account monitoring, and that was a big deal, right? She went to our accounts, she looked at what was in there, and at the end, she saw there was nothing, right? So IDShield will do comprehensive restoration, which is great, but it also monitors. It monitors all the information that these will steal. It has financial threshold account monitoring. So we're gonna look at your credit cards, your checking account, your savings account, even your retirement accounts, your loans, things like that. So you can set a threshold that if this amount of money comes out, I wanna know. Now, with a credit card, checking accounts, savings accounts, those things we typically can do right in our apps now. Most of our banks have apps. But our 401ks, other retirement plans and loans, typically we don't have something like that. So who's watching out for those? Those are usually a more high dollar value than your checking account, your credit cards, and your savings account. Who's watching them for you? This is why it's so important to understand that we monitor everything. Passwords. If you remember, he said something so critical. He said, if we get this password, we got all her passwords. Why? Because the average person will use the same password on things that are important to them, like your bank account, your credit cards. We'll put the same password on everything because that's how we best remember it. So once I get one of your passwords, I probably got all your passwords, because rarely do people have multiple passwords. And that's why you got to understand that we offer Password Manager.
Password hacking is one of the most common ways for identity thieves to steal personal information. But going through and updating all your passwords all the time can be tedious and time-consuming. That's why IDShield offers a way to quickly and easily create and manage strong passwords from any location and on multiple devices and browsers. The Password Manager securely communicates with browsers to enter passwords from your saved accounts. Now let's get you set up to protect your passwords. Step 1. Click the Manage Passwords button and follow the prompts to set up your Trend Micro account included with IDShield. If you already created a Trend Micro account for VPN or anti-malware protection, you can simply log into your account. Step 2. Download the Password Manager app to your computer and mobile device to share passwords across all your devices. Then follow the prompts to allow installation on your device. Step 3. Then sign in to your Trend Micro account so the app knows it's you. Step 4. After that, you will be asked to create a master password, the only password you will need to remember from now on. To access the Password Manager, which includes biometric login features as well as two-factor authentication to keep your credentials secure, you'll use this master password. We use multi-level security to make sure your password hub has maximized protection. Step 5. Once you've ensured the security of your account, add login details for your username and password combinations. Then click on Get Browser Extension and follow the prompts to add extension to install on your device. Once installation is complete, click on the Password Manager icon in your browser to start enjoying the ease and security provided by Trend's Password Manager. You can manage your passwords at any time by visiting your IDShield portal and selecting Password Management, or by visiting the apps you've downloaded to your browser and mobile device. We hope this video helps, and we congratulate you on becoming an IDShield member.
This is what a real password looks like. This is a 14-character one. Typically, you'll see them at 20 characters, 24 characters. You'll notice that you'll probably never remember this password. But this is an example of what a password should look like nowadays. And the problem is, because we can't remember the passwords, we're never going to do that. But we should be doing it. That's why your password manager is such a powerful tool. Probably more powerful than you can give it credit for, just simply because it protects you from having the ability for people to steal your passwords. Now, you notice at the end, you saw all these alerts going off at the end, but the alerts are just letting you know the house is on fire. If you don't have a way to fix it, then everything burns down, right? And that's why we do comprehensive restoration. So a licensed private investigator will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity to its pre-theft status. So I want you to understand the power of what you have. But one more thing. So I spent a lot of time now talking about IDShield. But there's another piece to this I need you to understand.
My name is Bo Carl. I'm going to share my identity theft story with you. There were 300 people that had ended up with my identity. It got sold through a flea market from the kid that actually broke into my car. My identity had been stolen. I discovered it on December 21st, 2006, while coming home from a business meeting. During that process, I was pulled over by someone I actually knew, a local cop at our church, and he said, I'm going to let you go, but let me run your license and I'll be back. And just a real routine, had a tail light out on the car and nothing big, and he's going to let me fix it. When the officer asked me told me that I had 47 felonies and 82 misdemeanors, I basically asked him, I said, can you allow me one thing? Can you give me one phone call? And he's like, this late at night? If you can get somebody this late at night, I'll pull my chief out of bed and he'll come up here. So I pick up the phone, call and speak to my law firm in the state of Texas. He then proceeds at the same time to call the other law firms from New Mexico, Arizona, California, Oregon, and Washington State. Got them on the phone. They didn't have a problem helping me with my issue. By that happened, the chief shows up and he's like, wait a minute, you're on the phone with 6 attorneys and it's dark. It's 10:30 here. It's got to be at least 8:30 there on the West Coast. I was like, yeah, it's that later, and they're on the phone trying to help me and trying to prove to you guys not to lock me up. So I was allowed to go to the office on Tuesday. We worked on everything through Christmas. On Tuesday, went into the precinct or whatever, and the chief was there, and he's like, wow, your attorneys work fast. And I was like, I told you it wasn't me, and for once, it really wasn't me. And the attorneys, went to bat for me. Within 2 weeks, they'd fully restored my identity. The peace of mind that the attorneys helped me through LegalShield was that they were able to establish a number direct to the state district attorney to help me in the future if something were to arise from being a victim of identity theft. I couldn't imagine what I would have done without them. It was just a process. I can't explain it in words. It's all through life you're always you're accused of things. You're now found you're proven guilty before you even get a chance to go to trial. Well, that's how identity theft works. You're guilty and you have to prove yourself innocent. I was completely helpless, but I knew in the back of my mind that LegalShield was always there.
So think about that. One break-in, his information was used by 300 people, 47 felonies committed in his name, 82 misdemeanors, and it was in 6 different states. Had it not been for his ability to use the 24/7 emergency access, he would have done some jail time. So this took place where Christmas was on a weekend. I think Christmas was on a Sunday. This happened on a Friday night. And because he was able to call this and have the 6 attorneys on the phone, he didn't spend a time in jail. He actually was able to go home. And on Tuesday, he was able to go back and take care of it. It took 2 weeks. So what I really hope that today I did for you is jolt you awake. I wanted you to see what identity theft really looked like. Because sometimes when you're not experiencing something, it just becomes words. It's an identity theft. We associate it with words. We say that's identity theft. But at the beginning, that video that I played, it brought it home for you. It made it real for you. It mostly attached you to identity theft and what it looks like. And so what I hope you did is you now understand why we offer Legal Shield and IDShield together and the power of our IDShield product, why nothing touches it. Nobody comes close to what we do with it because of how powerful it is. But it's so powerful that it takes several sessions for you to learn how good it is. Like, it's so robust, you can't learn it in one sit down somewhere. We haven't figured out a class where you can learn everything. So you have to go do little bits at a time. But when I go back and I'm looking at the chat now and I'm looking at you felt when you were watching that video, that's how your prospects feel, whether you protected them or not. They still feel the same way you said in the chat, but are you putting something in place so that when they feel that way, they have a solution, or are they going to feel that way and be all alone? And with that, Ms. Johnson, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Wow, Mr. Jones, that was so powerful. And the information is just amazing. You're right. There's so many features to our plan that we haven't even really scratched the scratch to all that it offers. I mean, just knowing the feature that we don't even talk about, if you lose your cell phone, the IDShield, Trend Micro has the ability to just erase everything on it. So if somebody steals my phone and it ends up in Florida and I live in Virginia, I'm not going to Florida to get the phone. I can just tell them to scrub it, wipe it clean. But it'll also tell me where it is because it can track it. So, I mean, that's just one of the things. And Mr. Jones, here in my building, I live in a secure building. And I remember when I first got my IDShield, got everything activated, and that sex offender piece came up. I remember getting a notification, and I looked, and that notification shows you a picture of the sex offender, and it tells you where they live. And I went, because I had been on the elevator with this person. Now, I'm not passing judgment on anybody, but what it did for me, it gave me a sense of awareness now in the fact that I won't get on the elevator with that person. I'll figure out some way to avoid getting on it. But now I have an awareness. Now I can make a decision to do what I need to do. Imagine being a parent and having that kind of information because you send your kids to go take the trash out all the time. You don't go with them. So this is such great information. I want to open it up to see if anybody have a comment or something that they want to share with Mr. Jones. Anyone, just put up your digital hand. Wow, I can't believe y'all don't have anything. Oh, well, I guess y'all are pretty comfortable. Jane, go ahead.
Yes, if nobody's going to ask questions or say anything, that when I heard that I've watched that movie, The Beekeeper, is so powerful, but the code word thing, and nobody knows about it. Every networking group I go to, and right now, instead of giving my 30-second elevator pitch, I'm giving do you have a code word for your family? And it's striking up so many conversations. It's 10 times better than an elevator pitch because I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about them. And a code word for the family is very important. So thank you so much. That was an incredible presentation. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good stuff. Phyllis.
Yes. I had a friend that called me the other day. He has IDShield. He's had a lot of strokes. He's in his mid-60s. And so he has a lot of trouble with computers. And he said, somebody jumped on my computer. I had a message come up and it said to call. He actually called this and allowed the people to come onto his computer, just like this happened. And so we're trying to get everything scrubbed and taken care of. But that is super scary to think that happens. And my mom has been gone for 19 years, and she was forever clicking on links in email. And that's the other thing that'll get you in trouble in a heartbeat. So thank you so much for this information. It's really great information.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you. Robert. You're on mute, Robert.
Thank you. One of the issues I've got is that, you know, you've got to find all these numbers, your passport number, et cetera, et cetera. Fortunately, I keep mine in a fireproof box, so it's not difficult to find. But, you know, credit card numbers, old credit card numbers, they all have to go in there, because otherwise the program doesn't work. Back to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bridget Packett Parker.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi.
I met you with Rob Hurst in March when I took the certified.
Okay, I remember you.
And oh my God, it was amazing though tonight. Is there a way that we can get that video as far as like you have it? Even if it not
Which video?
The one that you said, think about it if it was your own.
The Beehive? From the movie The Beehive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can make
The
sure Teresa Johnson
Beekeeper.
has it. I can make sure Teresa Johnson has it.
Okay, all right. And then Johnny, another thing, we want to thank you for what you've done for all of us. I mean, it's been amazing. Another thing that I wanted to mention tonight with what you shared, a lot of business owners, they don't realize, Johnny, the identity theft that's going on in the corporate world right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Regina Lee.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Jones. You were on our morning mastermind call, and it was amazing. And I like that code word. I've been sharing that with my my kids. Like, we got to have a code word, and all of you guys, you know, we're going to have a code word, and just one. So if any of us call, everybody needs to know that one code word. And also the data brokers, you know, all the searches we do, you know, how we sit up and click this and they say accept this and, you know, accept these cookies and all of that. That's things that we can share with our clients. So thank you so much for this. Yes, when I watched that video, I'm just like terrified for her, you know, terrified.
It
thank you.
blew my mind. It blew my mind because that's Claire Huxtable in my head. And when I'm watching her go through this the first time, I'm like, oh, they did her like that. Oh, and I was in it and I was working from here, this very spot. I got 3 screens. And so I had it on my screen to the right and I turned it on because I always got to have something on. That's how I focus. And I'm doing something over here and I see that and I turn and I stop working. And I was watching it, then I rewind it, watch it again. I was like, man, everybody needs to see that. So when I saw that movie, I couldn't even get out of the first part. Then I called James Worthy. I was like, James Worthy, you got to watch this. And then James Worthy went and found it and he watched it. Then I went on YouTube and I found the video and then I actually put it into the training. But, you know, for me, that was what we do. Like, that was the first time I saw what we do. Everything else I'm hearing what we provide, the features, the benefits. That's the first time I saw this is what we do. This is who we protect and how we protect them. And, you know, and I could go through and give you a whole lot of information about that because I study identity theft. But the main thing is understand that the power that we sit upon can't help anybody unless we tell people about it.
And they activate.
And they
Yes. And we have to explain to them too, that it's going to take time to activate it, to, block out some time, to set up your monitoring, to go through everything. So they'll, because people can get impatient, go, oh, I didn't know it was going to take this long. Oh, and then they may just stop and not do it. So if we, prepare them for it, the process, they'll be better ready to do it. And I actually did have a young man call me one day and say, this is your grandson, and I got in an accident, and I was like, which grandson? And he said, Abraham. I said, baby, you need to call your daddy. I don't have a grandson named Abraham. And then he hung up. So yeah, it's out there. Yeah.
Because the very thing that I did with that video is the very thing that thieves do to us. They put emotion into you, and they expect, because you're reacting to emotion, that you're not going to ask good questions.
Well, he said that in the video. He said, now here's the emotional hook. Oh my gosh. I'm going to get fired and I have kids. And then he said, I don't have any kids. So, I mean, this happens all the time to people, especially our elderly, especially our elderly.
Oh, yeah.
And Johnny, is there a way to, like when we get those calls, because with what we do, sometimes we get calls from people that we've connected with that we don't have in our contacts, and they may call us back, Is there a way that we should answer without saying, because I know I told my mom to never say hello. Is there something, or will they just record your voice anyway?
I say the least amount possible. If I don't
Okay.
recognize the number, sometimes I don't even talk. I just answer. And I wait to see what they say. So if I don't recognize the number, I just open it and answer, and nobody says anything, I hang up. And and sometimes you can hear when it's a computer generated, because there'll be some clicking, and then you just hang up.
And a lot of times I wait to see, if they leave me a voicemail. If they really want me, they'll leave me a voicemail.
Exactly. So there's different things we can do, but in this society of moving fast, we typically are not going to do everything that we probably should do. But the thing that I would tell you is you better have code words with the people that are important to you in case somebody's name and number and voice has been duplicated.
Okay, great.
Good stuff. All right. Alexis, and then we'll end with Pamela.
Just listening to everyone sharing, it's brought up things that I've gone through. First of all, I have to say thank you, Mr. Jones. That was powerful training. But I, like you, Ms. Johnson, I was checking, I got the alert of sex offender. My address is 3635. And it was a guy, because they show women as well. But it was 3600. So 4 houses from me on the corner is a sex offender. But it's so powerful to know, because I walk with my walking partner, and just to be able to know the face, and that was helpful. And then a couple summers ago, I got a call from IDShield, and they asked me if I was doing a $200-something charge at a steakhouse in Italy. It's like, no, I would love to go there one day. Have not been, but I appreciate how they will reach out to you, especially with all the monitoring. I did take some time, like Regina was saying, to get everything loaded, because I tell my clients, if you don't load it, we don't know what you want monitored. So you have to take the time to do it, just like Trend Micro. And Mr. Jones, that's what I was going to ask you. The second video that breaks down all the features of Trend Micro, that's not a prospect video. Is there some way we can get a copy of that?
It's in Prospect, but it's not a prospecting video, but that's in Prospect.
Okay.
So the Beekeeper movie is on YouTube.
Okay.
Most of the other movies that I played are from the Prospect app. The one where I talk about how we give our information away is from the FTC. I actually met the people in the FTC that made that video. So that was really cool. But that's available on the FTC website. I go to the FTC website from time to time because they got a lot of identity theft videos there.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much. We
You're welcome.
appreciate you.
No problem.
All right. And we'll end with Pamela.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Johnny Jones, and hi, Teresa.
Hi,
um,
Pamela.
you know what? When I was raising my hand initially to answer the question, what to do when people call, because if it wasn't for Legal Shield, I probably wouldn't be answering strange numbers. So I basically do the same thing Johnny Jones says. I actually put them on speaker and mute at the same time. So you can't even hear the noise in the background or anything around me. So I do that too. I'm not saying hello. I'm not doing any of that stuff. And maybe a tip for everyone, if you got doctors calling, their number is different. I saved that number, so I know that's the callback number. But my mother actually, two of these things happened to her. She didn't lose any money, because one time she called me and I said, hang up and unplug the computer. You know, something had popped up on her screen. And recently she got a call saying it was her granddaughter. And she said, didn't sound like her, but the person was hysterical. And the person, I said, the clue was when they said, I didn't want to call my mom and upset her. I said, but she would upset a 75-plus-year-old person. I said, Ma, that didn't even make sense. Did you think about that? So, but fortunately, it didn't go too far, but she has gotten two of those situations with someone trying something. So thank you so much for all the information and the way it was put together. You know, it kind of gets me revved up to help more people with this. So thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Mr. Jones, I'm going to throw it to you for closing comments. Thank you so much for being with us this evening and sharing this amazing information with us.
So everything we do, it should be mission driven, right? We're mission driven. So when you think about how you reacted to that video, it was about the mission that we do. That's your mission, to never let that happen to anybody else that you know, to never let anybody be in a position where they're helpless. See, we can help the helpless before they become helpless by simply selling our services and making sure they're activated and put in place. We have that power. We have far more power than we realize. It's not about performance club. It's not about running for points or anything like that. It's how many people can you touch who can come back to you and thank you for what you've given them because you blessed them with something that actually helped them. You know, I would do it for my mom anyway, but now I can do it at a higher level because I offer the service. But I would always be helping my mom with everything that she needed help with, like that. So every one of your customers is somebody that somebody loves. If it's not you, it's somebody that loves them. So we're protecting people's loved ones in everything that we do. So take it seriously and understand, if you're not talking about IDShield right now, you should be talking about IDShield with everything that you do. Now, we're not gonna make everybody get a dual plan, but you should be putting it on the table for everybody. Make them tell you why they don't want it instead of you choosing not to give it to them.
Oh, that's powerful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Jones. Appreciate you being with us this evening. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in there and capturing this information. I know Trish will post this up on our Shield Nation site. So if anybody wants to go back and listen to it, you certainly can. And yes, let's all make sure that we establish a code word with our family and our loved ones. Okay. Everybody have a great evening. We'll see you back here next week. Next week, we have a special guest speaker, Miss Kai Deering. So she will be our guest speaker next week. Take care and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy Jamaica for those of you going,
Thank you.
Mr. Jones. All right. Bye-bye.